So, if you've wondered what makes a personal brand unforgettable, even when the spotlight fades, if you think that what is the secret to making people feel something when they hear your name, what if you're wondering about building your personal brand from scratch today and you're looking for the first three steps? Well, this is the podcast for you because today we have with us Ricky Lee Travolta, a celebrated publicist, a branding expert, an award winning actor. He has worked with some of the amazing, recognizable names in the entertainment, tech, publishing, and beyond. So, from guiding Empire Today to become the number one home improvement brand in the country, he has mastered the art of turning identity into legacy. But behind the spotlight, there's a deeper story of resilience. And since our theme is luxury meeting spirituality, of course, we're going to discuss the every aspect of his success story. Because on Luxury Unplugged, we are talking about all the entrepreneurs and creatives, healers and visionaries who have built impactful lives by staying rooted in purpose, presence, and personal truth. Because real luxury isn't just about what you have, it's about who you have become in the process. Welcome to Luxury Unplugged. I'm your host, Neeti Kiswani. Let's begin. Welcome, Ricky. Welcome to Luxury Unplugged.
Thank you so much, Needy, and thank you to the audience, the Luxury Unplugged audience, for having me on. And I just want to throw in, before we even get started, you mentioned two key words that
Mm-hmm,
are principal to my success and the
mm-hmm,
success of any corporation that I make $1 billion corporation, or a celebrity that I turn into a celebrity brand. And these are your words that I'm just repeating back to you. You just
mm-hmm.
happen to be brilliant, Needy.
Thank you.
You mentioned creator and you mentioned truth. Well, everything I do is based in the truth. Every celebrity, if we create a fan for life, it's based on being truthful with those fans. And if we create a $1 billion brand, it's being truthful with the customers. And creator, everything I do, anybody can believe whatever they want. Every religion is cool with me. But for me, I believe in God, creator. And
Mhm.
that's who gives me my skills that I share. And now I didn't mean to take over your show, Dee, but I just wanted to hit how brilliant you are with your introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ricky. But we have some amazing questions because I'm sure we have synced up because we sort of believe in these two aspects, creativity and authenticity, right? So let me ask you quickly about your journey from child, from where your struggles. I believe you have spoken about your ADHD and other trauma experiences in childhood, and from that you have risen to become an award-winning publicist. How was your journey like? What was the turning point like?
Well, again, I'm going to turn back to the creator. And I mean, I've been on a very interesting spiritual journey. My
Hmm.
father is a descendant of the Nazi Party, and my mother's Jewish, and so that takes you on a long journey. I'm high functioning autistic, and so I was being sexually abused since the time I was 4. And my dad made up some bad lies about me and did some bad things to me. And yet here I am, smiling and sharing that smile with the world, and not only sharing my smile, but sharing my creativity, my business knowledge, and taking a disability, autism. Some people see that as a disability. Well, it's actually a superpower. It's what makes me able to do what I can do. I can make $100 million marketing plans while cooking breakfast. So it's been an interesting journey. Acting is what taught me how to be a human, so to speak. I didn't know how to smile. I didn't know how to laugh. I didn't know how to show emotions right. I stumbled into acting, got cast on accident as Tiny Tim in A Christmas Carol. Well, I don't want to turn this into the God show, right? I mean, but he had a path for me. And somehow I stumbled into acting, somehow I stumbled into business. I created a $1 billion music genre on accident. I was working for a small little independent label, Grindcore International. I had been fortunate enough to be on the team for Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation album. Wow, as a college kid on the team,
Wow.
it had the most Grammy nominations in history. And from there, I got an executive title at just a little label, Nowheresville. And we happened to sign Crowbar. Nobody heard of them. I introduced the term sludge metal. I didn't invent it. I didn't invent the music. I heard the term, said I can market that. It's now a $1 billion music genre.
Wow.
I happen to be good at what I do. And there's no shame in saying that. And there's also no shame in sharing it. And that's why they call me America's friend, because the companies that can't afford $1 million price tags for my services, the celebrities who can't afford that, I stop on the streets and I give free business advice to small business owners because I love America. I love the world. And I believe in the American dream for all. And that's, food in everyone's tummy and roofs over everyone's head and success. Everyone can have as much profit as they want, but people shouldn't just be scraping by. We
Right.
have to have the American dream across the world, and
Mm.
that's everybody happy. And then make all the profits you want. And I'll help you do it.
Right, right. So, tell us, Ricky, when you say that, you have helped brands grow or you turn them into multi-million dollar revenue models, how do you do that? What is your process or your strategy? When you come into the picture, how do you go ahead and start working with those kind of brands, which are already
Well,
there in the market with substantial positioning?
I prefer to take like a mid-level brand and make them huge because, for instance, a celebrity brand, Brett Michaels doesn't need me, of Poison fame. He's an incredible marketing person. Empire Today, I was brought in to make it huge. David Lenowitz, the billionaire, bought the brand and it wasn't succeeding. It was a Chicago brand. He wanted to take it national. It wasn't translating. And so he brought me in. I just introduced the first OSX tablet, the iPad before the iPad. I was a huge marketing mind, and I modeled with Fabio. I had this beautiful hair and everything. And so I was the ultimate spokesperson. I could do it on camera and then do the planning behind the scenes. And what is the planning? What we started off the show with: truth. You got to be true to your customers, because if you go for the quick buck, man, that's $1. $1, that's all you get. And if you are honest, 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 and you value your customers, whether you're a celebrity trying to make those fans or you're a company trying to make billions, if you're honest and you value your customers, and maybe you lose money, maybe you say, hey, I screwed up on this deal, I'm gonna give it to you free or something. Guess what? 40 years they're going to stay with you. That's a lot more than $1. That's a customer for life. And that is how you make a successful brand. And so how do I do it? I don't have a formula. I individualize it. For Empire Today, I saw the potential of product placement. I didn't invent it, but boom, I saw where it could go. I made us the official flooring company of everything. Every celebrity, every talk show, every sports franchise, we were everything. And I customized my appearance on each show that I did. I was on every HGTV show, being Mr. Home Improvement guy. But then I was on the Playboy channel. Well, very different audience. And then I was on Christian stations. And I believe in all this. Everybody's beautiful, right? But you talk to a different market in a different way. It's the same message. You're always truthful, always, always, always truthful. But you have to say it in a way that the person wants to hear, because otherwise they're going to tune out right away. So if you want them to hear you, you got to say it in the way they want to hear it. And so if that means on the Playboy channel, then you have a playmate next to you. And if it's on a Christian station, then you have your Bible and you do a prayer first. And you don't lie. I would not go on there and pray if I didn't believe in it. But you're truthful and you hit your audience the way they want to hear it. And you never, ever, ever, ever disrespect them. And if you screw up, you say, I'm sorry, and you fix it. And you don't stick your head in the sand. You build the customer for life. You build the fan for life. And that's how you have a career as a celebrity that goes on for generational wealth, where you can retire and play with your puppies and never have to play a gig again, or CEO, sit on your yacht all day. But you got to be truthful, because otherwise it's all going to go into bankruptcy and you're going to get lawsuits and you're going to get, who wants that? Everybody wants to smile. I like smile.
So in terms of what you've brought out some amazing pieces over here, especially the one that owning up to your mistakes, right? So if because it's going to be very likely that you are going to make some mistakes along the way. And when you do that, instead of just putting something over it to cover it up, you own it, you accept it, and then you move on. Being truthful to your fans as well as to your clients is what your first message is, right? So,
That is 100% true. Yes.
right. So now let's move on to working with Steven Adler. You have worked with this celebrity. Tell us about it. So amazing that you worked with people like Janet Jackson and Steven Adler. What was the celebrity endorsement, this authentic, transactional, perhaps? What was the kind of nature that you had with them, the kind of process that you had with them?
Well, okay, Steven Adler is a very unique one because I took him on. He was really struggling, and there was no reason for it. He he had a lot of bad rumors about him, and they were rumors. It wasn't the truth. And Steven Adler is one of the 100 greatest drummers of all time. Not my words, Rolling Stone magazine, the authority in music. And he's a Grammy Hall of Fame rock star. He's a rock and roll Hall of Fame rock star. Everybody in the music industry has wanted to work with him. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, just to name one. Alex Grassi, my good buddy from Quiet Riot. Everybody loves Steven Adler. And yet anytime there was any kind of need for a tabloid headline, they go back 40 years to some stuff that was said a long time ago and not even really true. And Steven is a great drummer. He doesn't like to do interviews. It's not what he enjoys, and it's not his expertise. His expertise is thrilling the fans and playing live music. What am I good at? I'm good at putting the focus on the truth, smiling really pretty for the camera, and talking. And so that's what we did. I put the focus on the truth instead of the rumors from a million years ago. And by doing that, we created a celebrity brand where now Steven isn't somebody who wants to be flying all over the world doing, touring every day. Guns N' Roses, they just changed drummers. And there was all these rumors that, hey, is Steven Adler going to come back? And I'm going to tell you, that would not have been the right situation for him. I am saying, Steven, let's not even consider that because he has this amazing career. He has the best vocalist, in my opinion, in rock and roll today, Ari Kamen. He has Michael Thomas, who is right up there in terms of the great guitarists of all time. He played with Faster Pussycat, Brand New Machine, just amazing guy. He's played with Snoop Dogg. He can do anything. Alistair A.J. James. He is, in addition to being just amazing rhythm guitarist, he's one of the top engineers and producers in the world. He engineered Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp and Joe Perry. And, he produces Quiet Riot with Rudy Sarzo and my guy, Rudy Sarzo and Alex Grassi. And then you got Christian Sturba on bass. Why would Steven Adler give that up? The most amazing solo career you could imagine, doing exactly what he wants, being the headliner, to go and be part of something from a million years ago. So, Isaac Carpenter is doing killer job for Guns N' Roses right now. And I love Guns N' Roses. I love them. I love them. I love them. But is that the right thing for Steven Adler? No. And that's also part of any celebrity brand, any business brand, is understanding what your goal is. Is your goal to go back and try and relive glory days from a million years ago? Or focus on the fact, Steven Adler, for instance, that you're the amazing headliner? If you look at fan polls, he's one of the most popular members or former members of Guns N' Roses ever. He played on 95% of every hit, co-writer of every hit. That's where the focus needs to be. And I haven't signed her yet, but I'm telling you, Lorraine Lewis, the former lead singer of Vixen, I can do the same thing for her because she's amazing, amazing talent. And oh my Lord, she's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If I was married, I'd probably divorce my wife and go hit on her. She's that beautiful and that talented. So I haven't signed her, but I have no problem telling people how incredible she is. The Jive, that's one of our bands. They're going to be huge because they have that happy-go-lucky feel from like Rick Springfield era. Right. Who doesn't love Rick Springfield? That's the kind of thing. You find a brand that people are going to love, and then you invite them to love them.
Right. So when you say about, first loving the brand and then inviting people to love that brand, is there, so in the times that you have worked in, social media was not that prominent. What was your way of, going out to the public, to the masses?
And that, again, it's an individual thing. I don't have a formula that I'm going to sell to companies.
Hmm.
That's why my price tag is what it is. Now, I do teach courses and I do classes, I do speeches, and we'll probably do newsletters and all that. But that's basic. To really hit that $1 billion mark, you have to individualize it. And so you have a great point. What did you do before social media? And so press releases were huge. Press release, press release, press release. And so if you newspapers are almost obsolete today, but there was a point where that was the media. And so it's understanding what the media is. Right now, it is social media, and
Right.
podcasts are huge. God, Warner Media, they just purchased something for it was like 80 million, maybe it was 100 million of just a podcast company was producing a few podcasts because they saw the potential and where it's going. So back in the day, you're asking about back in the day, newspapers, individually per region, Empire Today. I specialize the message, not just we talked about, not just for a religious station versus a Playboy station versus an HGTV, but let's talk about regions and different kinds of demographics. If you're talking to somebody in Texas, that's a very different kind of mentality usually. And then somebody in California or worldview, somebody in China or in the UK. We have an office in the UK. And so it's customizing the message. Again, keep the message true, always true, always true, always true.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure you're hitting the audience. And so we did a lot of newspaper back in the day. Also, there was things called zines when you go back to the record industry, where before, right now, everyone has a blog. Well, before there was the internet, everybody had a zine. It was like fan newsletters. You don't ignore that media. You don't say, hey, it's not USA Today, I'm going to ignore it. No, guess what? There's a lot of readers for those things back in the day, and there's a lot of viewers for YouTube channels, and there's a lot of viewers for Instagram posts and things. You realize what reality is. You don't stay in the past. The past is gone. You learn from it, though. We're starting a podcast network, and we're programming it just like they did in the old days of catering to the demographics. I mean, they used to create the nights that you had to sit in front of the TV, and you had the Cosby Show and Family Ties and whatnot. Make people want to embrace you. Give them that invitation and learn from the past, adapt to it. As we talked about earlier, if you make a mistake, there's a company called Constant Contact, owned by Clear Lake Capital. They committed huge civil rights violations, huge, 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 where Jerry Jow, the executive vice president, was offered millions of dollars to make it go away. And then he committed civil rights violations, ADA violations, and tried to stick his head in the sand and cover it up. And now it's probably, I don't want to quote numbers, but it's probably $1 billion lawsuit. And it didn't have to happen. And we have a show that's coming out. It's called Brand Titanic, where we focus on companies that make those boo-boos that didn't have to happen. VW, back in the day, you can Google it, Dieselgate, they lost billions, not just in lawsuits, but in civil penalties from the government, because then they are inspected every year, and consumer trust. Because once it comes out that Constant Contact and Clear Lake Capital abused disabled people and violated the ADA, guess what? People don't really want to do business with them.
True.
They say that's an abusive company. And that didn't have to happen because they were advised. They said, please don't do that. And they did it. And so they're going to be a focus of one episode of this incredible show, Brand Titanic. And I'll give you a hint there in terms of how you do it. You have to also understand keywords, because the automatic impulse for that show was brand suicide, because that's really what these companies do. But meaning, is suicide going to show up in a Google search if you search for that show name? No. The first thing that you get in a Google search if you use the word suicide is, hey, do you need help? Well, that's not going to get our customer, our viewer, to our show. So we had to adapt the name to brand Titanic. We have a band, Suicide Puppets. They're going to be huge, but we're changing the name because it's not showing up in search engines. And that is a band that it's a whole new genre of music based on the horror movie industry. I produce horror films. They're fun, they're goofy. And this is a music that's based on that. And it's one of the biggest bands there is for that genre, Suicide Puppets. But we have to change the name to get them to the next level, to get them to that. I created the fame of Crowbar and sludge metal, $1 billion music genre. We can do that again with Suicide Puppets with the name that we select. And we're going through a process on that because it involves keywords, what's going to translate to the audience, and also what's going to transfer that existing name, Suicide Puppets, to the new name that we have to now take it. We have to change the name. We want to keep those fans and accelerate the fame. So it's a process, and it's something that the superpower of autism, Steve Jobs pointed it out to me. He said, you're a marketing genius. And I said, thank you, Mr. Steve Jobs. And that's how I do it. I think in a very different way, but I think, Needy, you can see the pieces all just kind of flow together.
Absolutely. I am seeing so many pieces flowing absolutely in sync with where you're trying to go because because what I have noticed is that you are building up on the extensive experience that you already have with your ears in the brand management and personal branding. You're sort of building up on that because no matter the markets have changed, no matter the waves have changed, but it still remains the same thing. We're all trying to reach the audiences, and right now we are privileged to have social media helping us out. But that time also, you were not non-privileged. You had newspapers, you had magazines, you had so many things, posters, billboards, which were also playing a very big role. And you sort of took all of that experience and then translated it into what is called today keywords and search engine optimization and stuff like that. And it's brilliant because as we progress, then only we are able to, keep up with what our craft is helping us do and helping our clients progress as well with us. So that's brilliant, Ricky. Appreciate you
Thank
with
you. To hear words like brilliant. I mean, I was the kid that my own family called me. I don't really like this word, but I'm gonna use it. My family called me retarded, and boy, I'm gonna change the brand on that right now. If I'm retarded, then I think everybody should want to be retarded. And let's go ahead and now move that word away, and let's just focus on smiles and happiness and helping each other and making companies as big as they can be without putting each other out of business. There's no reason for that.
right.
And I call it the American dream for all
Hmm.
because I want everybody to be happy. And right now we're on a media tour across the US, and maybe we'll do it internationally. I'm not sure. But it's just using what's available. I'm a best-selling author. One of my books, my first novel, was My Fractured Life. And Heath Ledger wanted to star in the movie. That didn't happen. It actually happened because I was stupid and thought I should play the part instead. Well, guess what? You learn from your mistakes. And we got the film and TV rights back. So we'll make the film with a new young star, and we'll make a TV series because that's how you make multi revenue streams off a single product. And that's how you make a lot of money, have one product, and you sell it a bunch of times. And maybe we'll do a musical. I work with some companies that develop musicals. Find different ways to do it. But I'm going around the country donating copies of this and other books that I've written to libraries because libraries, they truly make America great. There's free books, free movies, free music, all those things I'm involved in. Reference library. There's nothing that anybody could dislike about the library. It's part of what makes America truly great. And so I'm going around to make sure that everybody knows about the library. And I hope that people see me. I'm going to every community I can, all across the country, and shaking hands, giving hugs. If it's a really pretty lady, I hope she asks me out because I love pretty ladies, and no shame in admitting that. And because I'm always respectful,
Hmm.
always, always, always respectful, and I've never been violent with anybody in my life.
Hmm.
The only thing ever close is I've pulled men off women who are being attacked.
Hmm.
And even then, I don't beat them up. I hold them until the police come. You always have to respect everybody, children, women, other men, respect, respect, respect. But hey, I'm going around to different communities and meeting people, donating copies of my books. And hey, maybe my books aren't the greatest. There are the greatest books there. There's the Bible. That's a great book. There's Think and Grow Rich, which is basically the Bible of business. And I have a very interesting connection to that. I was the research editor who spent months with the private audio diaries of Napoleon Hill, the author
Wow.
of Think and Grow Rich. And I'm the only person on earth who was ever able to do that. And Napoleon Hill talks about the secret of Think and Grow Rich, and he doesn't reveal it in that book. And yet I'm the one person on earth who knows it. So we'll probably do a book on that. We'll probably do a lot of books on that. And but my focus right now, the American Dream for All, and that's the I Love America, I Love the Library Freedom Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I invite you to see me at the library. If you miss me, then keep going to the library anyway. And just embrace the library, embrace America. And, those outside the America, hey, dig us anyway, and I'll come visit you in other countries. And if you want to show support, we are accepting sponsorship. Can I toss out the email address that people can contact our office to sponsor the I Love America, I Love the Library Freedom?
Please do, please do.
Okay. It's very simple. It's USA at certifiedplatinum.us, because that's where we steer our corporate services through, certifiedplatinum.us, and then our celebrity services are through celebrityendorsement.us, celebrityendorsements.us. And to sponsor the I Love America, I Love the Library Freedom Tour, please, we accept products, services, financial donations. We want you to be a part of loving America, loving the American dream for all. And so get in touch with us. We'll make it happen. And I'll throw my name at it. I will recognize you. I will make you famous. USA at certifiedplatinum.us. And yeah, go ahead and check out my fractured
Thank
heart.
you so much, Ricky, for that. Thank you so much, Ricky. We've actually enjoyed this conversation so much because not only have we seen how you have progressed in your life with your kind of work ethics and experience, but also we just saw a live experience of how to be absolutely talking about what your greatest works are. I mean, if somebody watches this podcast, they have live examples within the podcast on how should they be talking about their amazing works, right? So we've also discussed so many aspects of childhood trauma, neurodiversity, and so many aspects of your life where we touched how you led the global brands. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your sharing your inner story as well as external story. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Pleasure
Nini.
having
Thank you.
you.